Hello and welcome to the Cricket Show. As any of you budding fast bowlers would know, bowling at pace is not an easy art to master. To do it successfully, you not only have to be super fit, but crafty and have plenty of passion. Paul Lockyer reports.
This marvellous flowing action and that tremendous delivery stride.
For a batsman, it was one of the most fearsome sights in world cricket. Dennis Lillee bearing down, a lethal blend of speed and aggression.
Just a bit quicker.
And this was towards the end of Lillee's career, after a severe back injury had forced him to change his early tearaway style.
Oh, it's hit him somewhere around about the shoulder or neck. Oh!
I just charged in and bowled as quick as I could with an action that was, you know, not correct.
Lillee did what was thought to be near impossible in the 70s, making a comeback through a revolutionary exercise program from stress fractures of the bones in his lower back. It reshaped thinking about the management of fast bowlers.
In his day, when he was injured, you know, it was sort of like the person and the injury and the recovery process, and it's led to other people, you know, being identified in a similar situation.
By and large, there's a lot of research going on, and we're...
Now Dennis Lillee, with his Pace Australia program, roams the country advising promising fast bowlers about technique and workload to try to ensure that they don't break down as he did.
What they're trying to do is obviously let them do a lot of other different training and take the stress off the actual bowling. Don't do as much bowling, save it for the real times that they need it.
We can prepare ourselves by swimming and cycling and doing other things apart from actually bowling the nets.
As New South Wales Director of Coaching, Alan Campbell tries to keep a close eye on the development of the pace bowlers.
They want to tear in and they want to keep on bowling, and it doesn't matter how much you tell them as a coach or a parent not to play or not to bowl, they still want to do it. But for the young people that we've identified who are in our squads, we monitor their progress. And part of the reason for having them in a squad is to monitor how much they do, so they're actually not doing too much. So each of these young people here today will actually have a workload diary, and they record how much they bowled on a certain day.
That's not to say that the natural enthusiasm of the schoolyard nets is being stifled. Far from it.
Follow through with that bowling arm and follow through with your body down the wicket, okay?
Should be all right.
Great work, Mark. Obviously we want to give them some important technical information, but we don't want to get so technical that their natural game is inhibited by that. So basically we look to give them the simple skills of the game, the things that will stand by them in the years to come, and don't try and confuse their minds too much.
But by the time these kids are ready for Dennis Lillee's attention, it's likely that he'll have refined his thoughts on the science of pace bowling even further.
You know, we are learning still all the time, so, you know, this is all new ground, and so there's going to be sort of obviously teething problems as well, but, you know, by and large we feel we're on the right track.
Video cameras are used to capture the technique of every bowler for later detailed analysis. Hours will be spent examining frame by frame the approach to the wicket and the delivery stride to see if techniques can be improved to produce smoother side-on or front-on actions.
Again, I'll emphasise, you know, keeping the arms in tight, keeping them in nice and tight in here. The main way I can explain it is keeping everything tight inside the corridor.
Lillee is highly regarded far beyond Australia's shores for his abilities as a fast bowling coach. His aim is to provide greater depth than we've ever had before in fast bowling stocks.
It looks pretty good. I mean, I think ideally a pool of fast bowlers will be the way to go, and you do that through your juniors coming up through to the state squads, and then from there, you know, if they're good enough, then perhaps they get into a pool of fast bowlers, and then Australia's got a lot to pick from.
But only if the new wave of pace bowlers is prepared to take the necessary steps to remain injury-free. The sidelining of Test bowler Jason Gillespie and injuries to other pacemen at Shield level have provided timely impetus to Dennis Lillee's program.
You know, it's a hard lesson to learn, but all sort of had the stress fracture syndrome that, you know, maybe a lot more people start to sort of listen And when we say there are possible problems coming up, address them now and don't wait until you break down.
It's the other side of working life for a professional cricketer, the full or part-time job. For Adam Dale, it's Queensland sales manager with clothing company Canterbury. Adam left Melbourne for Brisbane in the name of work 3 years ago.
Career could, go a certain way that, I'm not playing a lot. So, it's very important for me personally to have a job that, if that does happen, I've got something to fall back on. Hello, Craig.
Good.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Sure.
Good to see you. Yeah, really well.
Good.
How's the morning?
Bowled him! Beautiful delivery. Greg Blewett beaten by the swing.
But not stressing himself too much over his sport has worked very well for Dale. After playing club cricket for more than 7 years in Victoria and not qualifying for its Shield side, the unassuming but determined medium-fast outswing bowler was quietly hoping for a breakthrough in Queensland. There was a little time on the sidelines with the Bulls, but last year came Adam's time in the sun. In his debut season, he collected 42 Shield wickets at a touch over 22 runs apiece and swung the arm with deadly accuracy for 17 wickets in one-day games for Queensland.
Bowled him. That's a very good reply, so what an over.
It was enough to earn Adam a call-up for the one-day series for Australia in South Africa.
And in the air, first ball wicket.
And in the midst of this cricket success, giving enough warning to allow Adam to miss a Shield game against Victoria, came Molly.
I got the first plane out on the Tuesday morning, and certainly with the blessing of the Queensland cricket, they were fantastic, and really supportive. And came home, and Nickers gave birth on the Thursday, so we had a couple of days of sort of hanging around and waiting for things to really kick in. But some things are more important than others, and that was one of those things.
Nicky met Adam more than 10 years ago, and more than anyone understands that Adam's success hasn't happened overnight. Shield cricket can be tedious, but Nicky rarely misses a game.
Do you see yourself as a cricket wife?
Well, I suppose I am now, really.
You can't argue.
No, I am. I mean, it's a big part. Adam's away a lot, training a lot. He's not training, he's at work, so cricket we go, as they say.
Already this season has provided some unforgettable moments for a family expecting a second baby. Molly couldn't quite believe her eyes when Adam did this.
In the air, there's a man out there who's coming around. He's going to get close to it. Oh, what a ripper! That could turn the whole game. Adam Dale, he's got 3 wickets with the ball. That's one of the best catches you will ever see.
Adam, what did Molly say to you that night?
And the judgment there, he threw himself, his foot out, and then he balanced and he took it, and he knows he's taking the catch that keeps the balls in this match.
She'll have to put up with it, though.
Oh, she sat me down and gave me a bit of a, she thought I maybe could have run a bit harder, and certainly felt the way I landed was a bit sort of awkward, but, she was generally delighted for me.
At home, monuments are being built to celebrate the Dale success.
Adam, did you build your own shed? but do you use the shed?
The career gear gets a good workout, but sometimes the tools go a bit astray.
You've got golf gear, but have you ever used one of these tools?
Geez, I can make myself sound like a real handyman, can't I?
Go, fella!
With his selection in the Australia A side in the Malaysian Eights and favour with the selectors in the national one-day side, Adam hasn't given up hope of playing Test cricket. He'd love an opportunity, but knows the danger of trying too hard.
I'm never going to fear a bloke out. I mean, I bowl a bumper and the umpy sort of says it's a bit high, Adam, and the batsman sort of think, oh, I wish I had another 3 or 4 of them. So I'm never going to fear a bloke out, but I think it's just knowing what you can and can't do, and, I'll generally bowl into the wind and be a supporting role for the main quickener side, and really it's just a matter of trying to be as consistent as I can and just give them nothing.
Oh, it's got to be very close. Got him. Beautiful bowling. That's superb bowling by Adam Dale.
While he puts his success down to his mother, his partner and Queensland cricket, life is pretty good. But a few more of these would do no harm at all.
Got him. Clean bowled, and that'll take him to the top of the list.
Watch them play, that they actually never know if they're winning or losing. And that's the secret of emotional control, which transfers to a level of behavioural control, which is necessary in a game like this, which is played over 4 days, 6 hours a day.
Clues that a batsman may be losing it mentally might be that he's not balanced on both feet between deliveries. Bowlers might grip the ball too tightly. Fielders won't talk or they'll kick the ground. But the signs are tricky. One of the Warriors' own elite players, Brendan Julian, has been called defeatist. Gordon believes that's misreading his signals.
Brendan's form of releasing is the demonstrative, maybe a swear word or two, but inevitably a smile, because he's a very competitive player, so he's never out of a game. But it could be seen by the public who watch him that he might have used his negative energy to put himself off, but that's rarely the case with him.
Gordon has worked with the Warriors for a decade. He and coaching director Graham Howes have built up the state's mental skills from junior levels. Now psychologists are part of every team around the country. Body language is just one of the essential mind games, the invisible weapons that could scuttle the tourists this summer.
Australians are very, very good in this regard. I'm talking more about visiting teams. There are a few state teams in the land now that I could actually say that, you know, these guys have quit or they've given up. So that's testimony to the quality of the Sheffield Shield competition.
Amos, throughout his first-class career, has been troubled by the short rising ball, so he's reverted to the helmet for protection.
Like a leg spinner, if the off-spinner can deceive the batsman into misreading the bounce, he's taken a huge step into getting the batsman out. The offie's top spinner will look like his usual delivery in flight, but instead of moving off the pitch, it will hold its line and hopefully find an outside edge.
Oh, he's got him caught behind. Yes, he's walking. A little nick there. We might see that was the top spinner, I suspect. Indeed it was, and a very good one too. It skidded, just got a little bit of bounce.
To achieve this, I want the ball to pitch middle stump and continue on its own path. My grip for the top spinner is exactly the same as the off break. The back of your wrist should be facing behind you. But for the top spinner, it moves around towards the mid-wicket region, keeping the seam upright, and you spin the ball towards the wicket, continuing on its own path. As the fingers roll over the top of the ball, it will gain pace and bounce. This ball is delivered from the bowler's highest delivery point, giving you maximum top spin. So once again, the grip for the top spinner is exactly the same as the off break, but you must have your wrist facing mid-wicket. The top spinner is a great ball because all day long you're bowling off break, moving left to right. When you bowl your top spinner and continues on towards the stumps, you're a good chance of getting a nick or an LBW.
Australia. It's very nice to be here again, and pleasant to find that, in spite of the depression, the big cities haven't changed very much. We haven't played a test match yet. In a month's time, like everyone else, I should be able to tell you a little more about our chances in the test.
Catch. Close, that's the way. Catch. Hands. Well done. You guys can keep going. Well, the rebound net or catching net has been around for a few years now. Each year it gets a little better, more improved. We're at Kingsgrove Sports Centre and we've found this catching net.
And I think they're fantastic for the kids to use like this to really sharpen up their catching skills, or good for an adult first-class cricketer to do the same. If there's no one around to hit your catches, then it just requires yourself and the catching net to go to business and practice these skills. Because it is vitally important in the game of cricket, because as they say, catches do win matches. For those of you who thought you'd seen everything in the way of cricket bags, well, we've done it. We've found something a little different for this coming season. Kookaburra are making them. I'm telling you, they're very handy for those lazy type and those who are looking after their backs. And all it is a couple of wheels down the bottom. It pulls in nicely behind you. And I've got a cricket game to get to, so I'm out of here. See you later.
Yeah, could you just come back here a minute? Yeah. You understand why that one went way down the leg side, don't you? Because you were falling, you were actually, in your action, you were falling away and your arm was up there. You were falling away towards cover, your whole body. When I said to you before that cricket's a side-on action. You should have your head up there, look straight down the wicket and your arm up like that. Try and touch your ear. If you're up there, then you'll bowl straight.
Tibble's got it. That is the record. The wicket-taking Test match record.
Cricketing legends die slowly.
That's a good delivery. He's got to be on his way, and he is. A tremendous delivery there from Jeff Thompson.
In India, they never do. The names Lillee and Thompson still echo around the ovals of this cricket-mad country, startling the buffalo.
Where's all the cricket? Hey, come on, where's your game? Where's your bat?
That neither Lillee nor Tomo ever played a test here doesn't seem to matter. Their reputation precedes them onto any arena. In this case, some kid's back paddock outside Madras for a quick game of 20-a-side.
Hope you realise this could be my first hat-trick on the continent. That's... Oh, no!
There was, of course, no shame in falling to these two. In fact, these kids will be boasting about it for years.
Okay, pull the hip through, mate. Really pull through. Yeah, excellent.
Lillee has been coaching in India for 10 years. The head of the Madras rubber factory wanted to put some heat into India's traditional spin attack and establish the Pace Foundation. He asked Lillee to be coaching director.
And he just said to me, look, any chance you can help us produce some fast bowlers in India? And I said, well, I can't help produce them. But if you send me enough raw talent, we can hone what's there. But it's going to be difficult because every other country in the world, there's lots of fast bowlers. Historically, in India, there's never been a known fast bowler, as in really fast.
Every April, the foundation picks India's top up-and-coming pacemen. They're given room, board and coaching for a year, longer if they look like going on to bigger things. In '92, that was expanded to allow foreign players. Lillee flies in 3 times a season to help out the full-time staff and offer a few observations.
Oh, you well bowled. It's good stuff. One of the biggest challenges was to convince them that what they were doing was in fact wrong. And by that I say that they were bowling 6 days a week in the nets, or 5 days a week in the nets for 2 hours each day, running in and sort of, you could see them getting shorter as they were running into bowl. I'm serious. I mean, they were just getting so worn out from bowling, over bowling.
Very good, Pushy. Best yet.
Other greats like Tomo were dragged in on a regular basis to lend an experienced eye.
We tell them, you don't just go out there and just bowl. Think about what you're doing. You've got to be aggressive, and you've got to... A fast bowler's got to motivate the rest of the side.
Mind you, motivation in front of the world's most devoted fans isn't generally a problem.
I never ever played here, and I think in a lot of ways I'm probably pretty happy about that, because I don't think I would have liked to have bowled on a lot of these wickets here.
That Lillee has been able to coax pace from these dead wickets is now beyond question. 7 Indian Test players and a new pace attack culture. The Academy's also helped produce all the Sri Lankan speedsters and guys like our own Glenn McGrath and South Africa's Lance Klusener.
They were actually probably the best that you could get, and if you're a great fast bowler, you're not always a great coach. And I think these two are exceptional.
Of course, from an Australian perspective, the big question about all of this is it wise? Neither Lilly nor Tomo have been known for their great love of batsmen, but given they're over here coaching Indians and Sri Lankans and Pakistanis and South Africans and Poms, they're really not doing our blokes any favours at all.
If you're in fact making more people, helping create more people that are better fast bowlers, makes for better world cricket.
It's not a ruthless campaign. I'm just happy to teach anybody. There's 4 different countries here we're teaching. And I'll tell you here and now, unless I'm a bad judge, that there's going to be a few Australian batsmen pay for it.
That's not great news with our boys touring the subcontinent at the end of the summer. The knowledge facing better bowlers will make them better batsmen will be cold comforts as this new breed, part Tomo, part Lilly, bears down in the Indian swelter.
Well, that wraps up today's edition of the Cricket Show. Take some time to join us tomorrow when we catch up with former Aussie skipper Kim Hughes. And Trevor Marmalade kicks in with a few laughs. See you then. Smoking it.